Sean.
Nice to see you.
And this week we've got with us Ryan Little Eagle.
Happy birthday.
All right. Well, we've got, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we decided to do something a little Irish, maybe a little Scottish tonight. So we've got the Guinness Irish Stout, and then we've also got the Belhaven Brewery's Dunbar, Scotland, their Belhaven Black Scottish Stout, which is the one we'll start with tonight.
I'm excited for both of these. But before we pour them, Ryan, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Let's see if I remember. Happy birthday, Matakiape. Donito Kawo, Meachaje, Wambichka, Machiape, Oglala Lakota, Mikaju Lakota. And just in case if you don't speak a domestic language here in the United States, what I said was, good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Little Eagle. I'm a Minneconjou Lakota. I'm Taino. I'm a Native American singer-songwriter. And I'm having a wee bit of fun tonight, so we're going to have fun and drink, do all the things that Irishmen should do.
Right. Yeah, cheeky monkey, yes you are.
Hey.
I appreciate the translation. I would have rolled with it, but it's nice. Well spoke, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited to have you on. We heard you warming up just a minute ago, and you already sound fantastic. So I think this is gonna be a fun show.
Oh yeah.
Ian, are we ready to pour?
I guess if you're ready to drink some beer,
let's dig into it. We got two tall boys tonight.
We'll start with the Belhaven Black.
Alrighty.
Now these are the nitrogenated stouts that we have this evening. And they don't seem to have the head that I was looking for on that.
Oh dang! I was just gonna say
So
I
we should go
had
ahead
a
and
good
open
pour.
that Guinness like you did.
Well, see, I'm starting to get it's slowly forming. I'm starting to get the cascading head.
You are?
Yeah, but it's less pronounced than you would normally see in a Guinness. But I think we poured it up at the same time. Now I've got like a nice frothy meringue kind of head on top.
You got to get it all.
I think I got just about all of it in this. Oh yeah, there it goes. Well, it just fits in this glass. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I mean, it looks good. Really nice dark coffee kind of color.
Mm-hmm.
Cream colored head. That hits the mustache. Ooh, it's very light, like very light body.
Yeah, it's very light in body.
Oh, this actually is from Dunbar, Scotland.
Out of Dunbar, Scotland. So the thing about these kind of beers is nitrogen. They have a little plastic widget in the can that is pumped with nitrogen, and then it's pressurized. So when you open the can, you depressurize it, and the nitrogen kind of leaches out from the little plastic widget. It gives it that creamy head. It's actually Guinness's their innovation or their thing that they put in the cans to get that draft style that you get. So most of these are about 70% nitrogen versus 30% carbon dioxide. So that's why you don't have the bubbles so much as more of like the creamy head and the soft feel to the beer.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
This is nice. This you can pound this pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. So this one is 4.2%, and then it's only 10 IBU.
Yeah. So there's almost nothing lingering on it. It's all right up front. You get a little coffee, a little bitterness, very light. I'm not sure if it's the can or the widget. I get a little bit of a metallic taste in there.
That might be the can.
But it definitely not as much as I don't know how to put it tactfully, but like Guinness, most of the stuff that we get in America is shipped straight from Ireland. But by straight, I mean like it takes like 2-3 months to get here.
Yeah.
So there's a little skunk on it. It's not bad. It's kind of characteristic of what we know as Guinness in America. But I definitely don't taste it as much on the Belhaven. It's very clean.
We'll see what we get from the Guinness too. So the little thing about the Belhaven Brewery, they're Scotland's oldest brewery. They're in Dunbar, Scotland. They are founded in 1719 is when the brewery is founded. But in the area, the monks were believed to be brewing at 1150 already. And they have that Belhaven Ale was being supplied to the troops at the castle as early as 1550. So this beer's has some staying power.
Yeah, man. Well, man, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not all about the beer tonight. Ryan, can you give us a little bit of a background on how you got started as a musician?
So my grandmother was a mariachi and ranchera singer down in San Antonio, and she did some tours down in the Caribbean, Mexico, South Texas, and I kind of grew up around that. My dad was a big music fanatic. All my cousins were in death metal bands, so was around it growing up. About 11 years ago, I moved out here for the first time to Georgia. And I met this guy up in Dahlonega. He was playing an indigenous flute. And I don't know if it was something that just kind of stood out to me, but I ended up picking up the flute. And that's kind of the start of my musical journey. I was doing Native American music for about 7, 8 years. Got into a bad relationship, wanted to do something different. So I started singing, and the guy that was playing guitar with me ended up going back and forth. 1 minute he's doing music, the next minute I quit, I suck, the whole world ends. And I knew if I wanted to keep, I had to learn how to play guitar. So last 3 years I've been singing and playing guitar and mixing a little bit of native music with it as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
I mean,
So do you play your songwriting style? Do you feel like it's more in that Native American tradition?
Somewhat. There's some songs that I do that definitely go more towards that. Most of what I do, I'd say, is more like a Texas country style, mixed with a little bit of Appalachian. Some of the early songs that I wrote definitely have more like a two-step vibe or a kind of dancehall vibe. Like I said, I grew up in South Texas, and a lot of my friends are out there were songwriters. And, we're around the Aaron Watson, Cody Johnson, like that sound. George Strait, I would say that was like a big influence on my sound. And when I moved out here, everybody's listening to Tyler Childers and stuff like that. And a friend of mine got a little bit more of a bluegrass soul to him. So being around that kind of changed up my style a little bit. And writing, the last song I wrote definitely has more of like an Appalachian vibe versus kind of the two-step vibe I had on some other songs.
Kind of moving east with even with your music style.
Somewhat.
Well, do we want to try the next beer?
Yes, we do. As we dig into it, though, I was kind of curious, just because you mentioned like some of the Caribbean beats in there. Do you find that ever kind of jumps into your songwriting at all?
It does on the instrumental side. I don't know necessarily on the lyrical side. I know what was it? I think it was 5 years ago, I put out an album called My Songs, My Stories, which was a native album. And on there is a song called Sueños de la Isla. And that definitely has more of a Caribbean vibe.
Cool.
And I wrote a song called Vida Pasada de mi Corazón, which is another native flute song. And I did it in honor of my great grandma, who is from Puerto Rico. If I remember right, her family comes from Lajas, while my grandfather's family came from San German.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, that was kind of another little bit of that Caribbean Latin vibe that we put into it.
Very cool. Very cool. So do you almost get a little reggae even? I know you said you do a little dance hall.
Weirdly enough, I don't know if I do it purposely sometimes. What is it? Let's see, I got a request the other day for Wagon Wheel. And the thing that I started doing with Wagon Wheel is, or originally to get out of playing Wagon Wheel, I took, Don't Stop Believing, and then ran like 10 songs into that same 4-chord pattern. Like, I think Axis of Powers has a much better version. But I started doing Wagon Wheel, and I try to do it a little bit more like Old Medicine Grove versus Darius Rucker. Which, I mean, then it just becomes however I do it. And it kind of becomes a little more poppy. So as I was starting to do Don't Stop Believing and going into those other songs like I normally do, it definitely had a more like a reggae vibe to it. So every now and then I'll slip that, I guess.
That's cool. You can almost do like Texas steel guitar meets steel drum.
Right.
All right, well, let's talk about this next beer real quick. Guinness.
Classic.
Not very many people know about this beer.
Not at all.
They're Dublin, Ireland. They're very much the Irish beer, the beer of St. Patrick's Day. Some people put the clover leaf in the top of the beer for you. I actually had the privilege of meeting Fred Murray one time, and he gave me this book, which is pretty much the story of Guinness, and signed it for me.
Wow.
So I've always been a big fan of Guinness since that. And he actually got up and showed us the perfect pour right off tap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
The thing about Guinness is it was founded by Arthur Guinness, and he signed a lease to where for Guinness to be brewed at St. James Gate. So he signed a 9,000-year lease at 45 pounds a year. So I would imagine that was a lot back in the 1700s, but I would imagine it's not very much now.
And I actually never really looked into it, and maybe you did, but that amount cannot go up, right?
I didn't see that. I didn't read about that, but I would imagine if you signed that it wouldn't.
Right.
There's got to be something in there to adjust for inflation.
Yeah.
Oh man, you'd think so. That's such a kick in the cherry.
For 9,000 years. So the year 10, what is it? The year, what did that make that? The year 10,700? Lease is up. We're taking it back.
Before they cancel the lease, like we own Ireland now, right? It's pretty much just one Dublin factory.
Yeah,
not Dublin, one Guinness factory. But, this is good, man.
Yeah,
it's got that velvety.
So also 4.2% on the alcohol, but this one has 45 on the IBUs. So, but I don't really taste, maybe a little bitter, a little more of that tea, coffee to it.
There you go. And that's like, I know we've been talking about this for a while now, just kind of what that IBU bitterness is, but it is that kind of tingle you get under the backside of your tongue, and that little bit of bite as you swallow. And that's that IBU bitterness. But still, it's body-wise, it's a medium light beer.
Yeah,
it's got a good velvety feeling on your tongue. I mean, almost like iced coffee.
Yeah, it'll get you full before it gets you drunk too.
Challenge accepted, sir.
Yeah. Get in my belly.
Ryan, do you have a preference? We didn't really talk about it. Do you have a preference between stouts or other kinds of beers at all?
Weirdly enough, Guinness was the first beer I ever drank.
Nice.
After a while, I don't know if dark beers just didn't really have a good taste for me, or I lost the taste I had for it. Because after that, I just couldn't take a stout too well. So I started drinking Mexican lagers. From Mexican lagers, kind of went back and forth, doing like pale ales, American wheats, Belgian wheats, kind of where I'm at right now. Usually, I really don't drink a lot of beer anymore. I used to work at a bar down in Atlanta. We always had like a $25 tab for ourselves, and the bartenders had a bigger tab. And I was friends with all the bartenders because I stayed back and helped clean and helped do extra work. And I was getting paid hourly, so I didn't care. I was getting 15 an hour, and by that time I was running 40 plus hours a week, so I was making overtime just sitting cleaning. So I'll cash the paycheck. Yeah. So I drank a lot, but then when I quit the bar and moved to Texas, and then was bouncing at a bar over there, we never got a tab, and I became very cheap on that. So it was a little incentive to quit drinking so much. But I drink a lot actually up the road in Dahlonega. There's a brewery, the Dahlonega Brewery, Three Rangers Brewery, and that's where I really got introduced to like wheats, pale ales, and blonde ales. And it's kind of been my go-to whenever I'm somewhere different, trying something new for the first time.
Very cool. I know, and we did an episode on Vienna lagers.
Yeah.
Which would be your South American, Central American, Mexican brown.
Mexican lager, Vienna lager. It's really the same thing.
If it's not golden, then it's brown, and that's a Vienna lager.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just made me think of that. I don't know if that's kind of still in your wheelhouse, or you've been moving more towards the wheat beers and the IPAs.
Definitely not an IPA guy.
No. Okay.
There's one. I don't know. I never got the taste for it. There's one time I swear it felt like, not that I really know what they like having dish soap tastes like, but it had kind of like that I guess the smell that triggers taste. It had about the same thing, and ever since then I've hated IPAs. I've not found an IPA that I like outside of, there's one that Gate City had, and there's this bar that I played out a lot, and my ex-girlfriend was a server there. And she got me to try it, and that would be like the only one I drink there at that bar. But I don't even remember which one it was.
You can, with those hops, you can definitely create different flavors.
For sure.
Well, I'll say Ian is definitely the IPA or the hophead of the two of us.
Yeah.
And I've found, because I get that soapy feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, for me, is when it's a double or triple, like a high alcohol IPA.
Yeah.
They tend to add more malt to it, so it makes it sweeter.
Yeah.
Or East Coast style IPAs. So basically the ones that aren't like West Coast, like we just want to like scour your tongue with an IPA laced or a hops laced Brillo pad.
Yeah. I think that's probably my issues. I just haven't really had a chance to try out a real good IPA. I mean, when I was in Texas, it was Shinerbach, Lone Star, and I'm trying to remember, I think Ziegenbach. Those were like the cheap beers at the bars. I mean, Lone Star at one bar is like $2 a beer.
Yeah,
it's like
sure. PBR.
We used to do smuggling runs from Michigan down to Texas to get Shinerbach.
Right.
We'd load up like a cargo van, just cases of Shinerbach.
Yeah, there's a bar in Dahlonega called Johnny B's. Literally, it's one of the 3 places here in Georgia I know that has Shinerbach. So,
yeah, that was a good one.
It's a lot to get a distributor to take that on.
Oh man, I mean it's getting more and more distribution. It was illegal when we did it 12 years ago. Now no one cares.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, do you want to play a song for us at all tonight?
Yeah, I'll play a couple.
Get that cocktail going that Sean's got. He'll have for us afterwards.
So, this is a song that a friend of mine wrote, but he allowed me to kind of add on to it. And for me, My friends always complain at me because, like, playing wise, I rarely get south of Forsyth County. I mean, I think Buford's probably the furthest south that I've played. And I mean, for me, I just love being up in the hills and being up in those mountains. But this song is called My Mountains. My friend Moses McKenzie wrote it and allowed me to co-write on it. But do I like it? Oh, the mountains are calling me, sweet sound, sounds so easily found. Like the sound of my old blue tick hound just running around. That's where I'm going, homeward bound. Oh, the mountains calling me home. They sing me the sweet song as I make my final journey home to where I'll never more roam. Those mountains I've hunted, gathered wood ever since my childhood, where friends and family were all the same. That's where I'm going, I'm headed to stay. Oh, the mountains calling me home, and they sing me a sweet song as I make my final journey home to where I'll never more roam. And those hills that I play almost every day, not as tall but still mountains to me. Well, blue bonnets bloom, that's where I roam. No matter where I go, that's always my home. Oh, the mountains are calling me home, and they sing me a sweet song as I make my final journey home to where I'll never more roam, never more roam, never more roam. My mountain home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Woo! Man,
Right.
and I'll be the first to admit it. I often say I don't like country, but that was beautiful, man. That was really, really
good. My friend Moses had a real cool rhythm. I'm still learning how to play guitar, so I just had my own spin for it. And now he wants me to play it whenever I'm out.
Yeah.
It's so
I
funny.
can see why.
We were at a gig, and I had just played it earlier that day. I went to go see him play. So, he's up there getting ready, or he's up there towards the end of the set. And, I give him a little hell. I'm like, hey, play My Mountains. So he gets started playing it, and he completely forgets it. Like, oops. So, yeah.
No, that was great. Are you ready for a little St. Patty's Day cocktail?
I'll be willing to try out something.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. You certainly don't have to chug it before the end of the show. So this cocktail actually comes straight from the Jameson whiskey website, and Jameson is kind of the the epitomous whiskey when you say Irish whiskey.
Yeah.
This is called the Tipperary. I'm not sure if it's named just for the city or for the song It's a Long Way to Tipperary, but I think on the description says it's not so far away when you're having this cocktail.
And I'm glad he grabbed that glass because I almost knocked it right out of his hand too. As I was feeding it to him.
So, Jameson is one of the old distilleries in Ireland, although, oddly enough, John Jameson, its founder, is from Scotland. He was originally a lawyer, and he started this distillery when he was about 40 years old, back in 1780. And one of the great things about this whiskey, to me, it's, first of all, it's kind of cheap. You don't have to spend a lot to get a nice whiskey. It's blended, but it's also aged for 4 years in oak. So it's got its nice smoothness. So it's triple distilled and then aged in oak. So it's got a nice smoothness to it, a little bit of sweetness. It's a nice whiskey. So in this cocktail called the Tipperary, it's supposed to be equal parts chartreuse,
That's what I smell.
white or dry vermouth, and Jameson. I put about an extra quarter ounce of Jameson in there just because why not? And we're going to give it a quick shake. And pour it in a little coupe. The only thing I've modified besides adding a little extra Jameson is adding a little de-seeded jalapeno slice.
That's what I'm tasting. That's that kick.
That's a little extra kick. This is like a nice just lounge cocktail. I'm just sipping on it where it's not partying. We're just looking fancy and drinking. So, Sanjay.
So,
Jalapeno really gives it aromatics.
yeah.
Yep, that's it. That's why I said de-seeded too. You don't want really heat. You just want a little extra vegetal pepper flavor to it.
And the chartreuse.
I was about to say, yeah. I taste that chartreuse. I don't know why I was thinking sassafras there for a minute.
You know, it's. I mean, I think it might be because I was just sipping on stout, 2 minutes ago before that. I think the two kind of blended together slightly on the palate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stout
I can see
with
where
you.
you're thinking sassafras, for sure. But yeah, that's our Tipperary.
Nice.
Whew. Ooh, wow, that shaker still was pretty loaded. Oh, man. And, yeah, honestly, for, what is Jameson, $30 a bottle?
Is it really that much?
I think
The
that-
big bottle.
Oh, fair point. I'm used to the large bottles at work. Yeah, your normal $7.50. I have no idea. Probably cheaper though.
I imagine it's more in the 18 to 25 range.
Either way, I think at least during the formal live show we have time for one more song.
Yeah.
Mr. Ryan Little Eagle, do you have anything else you'd like to play us out with tonight?
Yeah. Let's say so. As I said, when I was my IPA experience, I was dating this girl in LJ, and she was all over the place. I mean, here she was. The first time I met her, we were playing. I was playing there, and I was actually interested in the other bartender. I had met her from my previous time. And it turned out she had a boyfriend, so whatever. And, so my ex kept giving me eyes all night. And, okay, I played Check Yes or No by George Strait, and she actually wrote me a letter. Put it right there by my beer that said yes on a checkbox. With her number and tow. And so we got to talking a little bit. And we talked for a few weeks. A month and a half goes by, and it feels like she's there, she's not there, she's there, she's not there. And then she gives me this. I was playing hard to get. I'm like, why? I was really interested. But it's not gonna make things anymore, but whatever. She had a couple kids, so I got closer to kids, and it wasn't too bad. there was one night I was playing up at Emily's, which is where she worked at the time, and it was a slow day. Not really a whole lot of people there. She ended up getting the night off, so she was sitting in, and I looped a different song. And I literally just, since nobody was there, I put my guitar down, let the loop play, walked out, grabbed her hand, and we started dancing. And took her by surprise, you know, especially when I tried to dip her. She's like, "Oh, no." But she was laughing and smiling. It was a great time. And unfortunately, when we got together, it just, things went rough, and she was going through a lot. You know, I don't know that she knew how to handle it. And she just pushed everybody away, pushed me away. And just trying to reach out to her and let her know, hey, I'm still here for you. And so I wrote her a song. I wrote it about that day. Things didn't work out, but it's all right. And for me, like native spirituality, you know, we talk about medicine and not being like a physical, like, you know, here's a pill, whatever, synthesized, or here's a root. It goes deeper than that. It's down to the spirit, down to the heart. It's like how moments sit with you, and you know, they enrich you, they make you stronger. And that was kind of me with that. Is even though we didn't work out, that moment was something I always wanted to do at a gig, and I managed to capture it in this song. And you know, it's one of those not to share with people. And it's like I tell people when I play it, I wrote it because I wanted people to be able to fall in love and dance with each other. And so far, one of my good friends, him and his girlfriend, this was really the first song they danced to. So it's kind of their song. I had to change up one of the lyrics because she has brown eyes. But, you know, that was something special. I played at Emily's one night, and there was a wedding party that literally just got hitched outside moments before. And they danced to this song. So it's one of those I love sharing with people, giving them that opportunity. It's called Made for Two. Two people alone on that dance floor, sliding back and forth across the road. Our favorite song playing on the radio. Nothing there between us on this night. Moving together to the beat of love. Nothing matters, just me and you. I'll hold you tight in those arms of mine. This love made for two. In this love made for two. I'm lost in those blue eyes of yours. You're listening to the rhythm from my heart. We're in this moment, no one else. Caught in an instant time, just standing still. Moving together to the beat of love. Nothing matters, it's just me and you. All tight in those arms of mine. This love made for two. In you around and watching you smile. Loud enough like the sun. I see you shining stars above, showing off what you love. Look together, nothing matters, just me and you. I'll hold you tight and move on tonight. Made for two. In this love, made for two. Made for two. Me and you. Made for two.
Woo!
Awesome stuff.
Thank you.
That was amazing, man. Yeah, I can see how that would work.
We've come to that time of the night that we call the shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs.
So
Riley,
this is your-
where can we find you? Where can we enjoy more of your music? Where can everyone else find you as well?
So, of course, I always say it's easier just to Google me. Literally, just put in Ryan Little Eagle. It will pull me up through Instagram, Facebook, and my website and everything. But, of course, if you're looking for a more direct approach, you can find me on Facebook at Ryan Little Eagle. You can search it. It'll pull up my personal page. It'll also pull up my musician page. Musician page is facebook.com/Ryan Little Eagle. Instagram is Little Eagle _music. And you can find me also on YouTube, just Ryan Little Eagle. It'll pull me up. And of course, you can check out my website. Easiest way to find out where I'm playing, what I'm doing, is RyanLittleEagleMusic.com. Probably the easiest one.
Excellent.
Perfect. Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate you being on tonight and sharing your music with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And of course, we're going to have a little post show after this. We'll just kind of put that on our Patreon. But if you've been watching the show and you enjoy it, and you enjoy what you heard and us making drinks and having some beers, be sure to like, share, and follow. You can always find us on Facebook, fb.me/Beery Traveler, on Instagram, _Beery_Traveler, on Twitter, Beery_Traveler, on patreon.com/Beery Traveler, where, of course, all the extra content goes up onto. And of course, thank you to our original and first Patreon backer, Atrocity Girl, out of Seattle. I'll be sending you some more hot sauce soon. And of course, thank you, Ty, our director, who tells us how to look good and gives us feedback every week so we know how to make it better for you. Thank you, Ryan Little Eagle, for being on tonight. I certainly appreciate you, and I hope you can hang out and at least have a few more drinks, or not a few more drinks, a few more sips with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to be safe. And next week, we'll have David Patterson on, also another local Atlanta musician. And until then, Sludge.
My name is Ian. I'm the Beery Traveler. We're always looking for good times and great beers. Sean's with me always every week. We're looking to hook you up with good times, great beers, and even better cocktails by Sean. But until next Friday, my name's Ian. We'll see you, Sean.